the forest of Wisps and the hidden village. In the heart of an old enchanted forest, where trees whispered ancient secrets and fireflies twinkled like tiny lanterns, lived a girl named Ivy. Ivy loved exploring the forest near her home, always hoping to discover something magical. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and a blanket of stars began to spread across the sky, Ivy wandered deeper into the forest than she ever had before. With each step, she could feel the air changing, becoming softer, more magical. She noticed a gentle glow up ahead, a cluster of tiny flickering lights dancing and weaving through the trees. Ivy followed them, her heart pounding with curiosity. The lights seemed to be leading her somewhere, and she couldn't resist the adventure. The fireflies formed a glowing path, and soon Ivy found herself standing before a grand ancient oak tree, its branches stretching towards the sky like welcoming arms. There, nestled in the roots of the tree, was a door, small and round, with delicate carvings of leaves and stars. Ivy knelt down and gently knocked. To her surprise, the door creaked open, and a tiny voice called out, come in, traveller!" Ivy pushed the door open and crawled through, finding herself in a world she could have only dreamed of. It was a hidden village, glowing softly with lanterns made of flowers, and tiny homes built into the roots of the trees. Little creatures, no taller than Ivy's knee, moved about. They were wisps, magical beings with shimmering wings and eyes that sparkled like the night sky. They paused as they saw Ivy, their wings fluttering with excitement. "A human! A human has come!" they whispered, gathering around her. One wisp, with a crown made of daisies, stepped forward and bowed. "Welcome, traveller! I am Leora, leader of the Wisps." Ivy smiled, her eyes wide with wonder. "Hello, I'm Ivy. Your village is beautiful," she said, her voice filled with awe. Leora's face lit up, but there was worry behind her smile. "We are glad you're here, Ivy. We need your help. Our magical lantern, the one that lights our entire village, has gone out. Without its light, our village will soon be lost to darkness. We've tried everything, but it seems only someone with a pure heart, someone like you, can help us relight it." Ivy felt a surge of determination. She knew she couldn't let these tiny creatures lose their beautiful home. "Of course I'll help," she said, her voice steady. Leora clapped her hands, and the other wisps cheered, their wings shimmering with hope. They led Ivy through the village to a clearing where the magical lantern stood. A beautiful crystal orb perched atop a pedestal of twisted roots. It was dark now, its light completely gone, and the air around it felt heavy. "To relight the lantern," Leora explained, "you must find 3 enchanted items: the petal of the moonflower, the dewdrop of the first morning light, and the feather of a dream bird. Each of these items holds magic that will bring the lantern back to life." Ivy nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Where do I find them?" she asked. Leora smiled. "We will guide you. The moonflower blooms in the meadow under the moon's light. The dewdrop can be found at dawn on the tallest fern, and the dream bird's feather. Well, that will be the trickiest to find, for it only appears when someone is truly kind." The wisps gathered around Ivy, each offering her a small gift for her journey: a glowing pebble to light her way, a pouch made of leaves to carry the items, and a necklace woven from silver threads for luck. Ivy thanked them all, her heart swelling with warmth. With Leora and a few other wisps by her side, Ivy set off towards the meadow. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a gentle glow over the clearing. There, Among the tall grass, Ivy spotted it. A single moonflower, its petals glowing faintly. She knelt down, cupping her hands around it. The flower seemed to respond to her touch, opening wider until one petal detached itself, floating gently into her hands. 1 down, 2 to go, Ivy whispered, smiling at Leora. They continued their journey, making their way to the tallest fern in the forest. The sky was beginning to lighten, and as the first rays of dawn broke through the trees, Ivy saw it. A single, shimmering dewdrop perched delicately on the tip of the fern. She reached out carefully, letting the dewdrop slide into her palm, and placed it gently into the pouch. "You're doing wonderfully, Ivy," Leora said, her voice filled with admiration. Now came the most challenging part, finding the feather of the dreambird. The wisps led Ivy to a grove where the dreambird was known to appear, but there was no sign of it. Ivy sat down on a mossy rock, her heart sinking. "How will I find it?" she wondered aloud. Just then she heard a soft cry. Ivy turned to see a tiny wisp struggling to lift a heavy berry, its wings fluttering desperately. Without a second thought, Ivy hurried over. "Here, let me help you," she said kindly, lifting the berry and placing it where the wisp wanted. The little wisp looked up at her, its eyes shining. "Thank you, kind human," it whispered. Suddenly, the air around them shimmered, and a gentle breeze swept through the grove. Ivy looked up in awe as a bird, glowing with the colors of a dream, blues, purples, and silvers, descended from the trees. It was the dreambird. It fluttered towards Ivy, and with a graceful dip of its head, a single feather drifted down, landing softly at her feet. "You did it, Ivy!" Leora exclaimed, her wings fluttering with joy. Ivy picked up the feather, her heart full. She placed it carefully in the pouch, and together they made their way back to the village. The wisps gathered around as Ivy approached the crystal lantern. She took the moonflower petal, the dewdrop, and the dreambird's feather and placed them one by one into the lantern. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, a soft glow began to emanate from the crystal. It grew brighter and brighter until the entire village was bathed in a warm golden light. The wisps cheered, their wings glowing as they danced around Ivy. "You saved our village, Ivy," Leora said, her voice filled with gratitude. "The light will never fade now, thanks to your kindness and courage." Ivy smiled, her heart overflowing with happiness. "I'm so glad I could help," she said. The wisps led Ivy back to the grand oak tree, and Leora placed a small glowing crystal in her hand. "A gift to remember us by," she said. "And remember, you are always welcome here, brave traveler." Ivy hugged Leora gently, then crawled back through the door, finding herself once again in the quiet forest. The sun was beginning to rise, casting a golden glow over the trees. She looked down at the crystal in her hand, its soft light reminding her that the magic of the wisps was real. As Ivy made her way back home, she knew that she would always carry the magic of the forest with her. And she knew that, whenever the forest called to her again, she would be ready for another adventure. The end.